Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of The Awesome with Cody. As usual, I'm your host, Cody, and today we are continuing, actually wrapping up October's theme of awesome Halloweenish movies. And they're animated, really. Awesome animated Halloweenish movies, I guess, is really what that should be called. Anyhow, so if you haven't been with us this entire time, you may have missed a couple episodes, but those episodes are not on that list that I just pulled up. That is the wrong list, doesn't matter. We did Paranorman, we did Monster House, we did the Box Trolls, not in this order, so it was Paranorman, Box Trolls, Monster House, and then today, right? Yes, man. It's been a long week. Long month, I should say, too. Anyhow, so today we're talking about a movie called Hell and Back, which is an stop-motion animated movie from way back in the year of 2011, or 2015. And it stars a ton of people, which I will not go over all of the stuff they've been in, but I will name off the names, and you will probably know who they are, and I'll give you one thing they're well known for. Nick Swartzen, stand-up comedian, been in a bunch of Adam Sandler stuff. Mila Kunis, I can't talk. Mila Kunis, besides being married to Ashton Kutcher, she is also from That 70s Show. Bob Odenkirk, famously now plays Saul from Better Call Saul, as well as Breaking Bad. T.J. Miller, stand-up comedian. Again, a bunch of things, but one of the things I've actually talked about on this here podcast is She's Out of My League, fantastic movie, and he's great in it. Rob Riggle, the guy who says he's gonna eat Brendan's face from Step Brothers, amongst other things, but that's it. Susan Sarandon, it's Susan Sarandon, you know who that is, I'm sorry. You have Danny McBride. He's done a lot of different things. As Kenny Powers on that show, Southbound and Down. You have Maria Bamford. Maria Bamford has done quite a few things. She's a stand-up comedian, probably best well-known, voicing many characters on American Dad, Adventure Time, voice acting-wise. Trying to think of other stuff you might know her from. She's a stand-up comedian. It's just, that's who she is. I don't know how to explain more than that. Lance Bass of NSYNC fame is actually plays a boy band demon in this movie. I'll explain a little bit about that as I go. H. John Benjamin, well known for Bob's Burgers and Archer, the voice of both, as well as just having an iconic voice. Jennifer Coolidge, of course, is known for many things, but one is being Stifler's mom from the American Pie movies, as well as a lot of different things, but that would be probably the most well-known role she's ever been in. But she's been in a bunch of stuff that's really good too. So yeah, it's Jennifer Coolidge. Boom, there you go. Let's see. Then we have John P. Farley, who's Chris Farley's brother. You have Jay Johnson. Jay Johnson. He should be known from a lot of things. The thing I always remember from is being an actor, a sketch actor on the Mr. Show with Bob and David. Of course, that show being Bob Odenkirk and David Cross, their sketch comedy show that was on HBO, I believe. But he does Jimmy Pesto Sr. on Bob's Burgers. He's been, I don't know, a shit ton of different things. He's funny, dude. We have Carrie Kennedy Silver. The name didn't strike me as who the hell is this right away, and I had to look it up. And she's been she's done a lot of voices, but one of the ones that caught me off guard was she's best known for being the voice of Lion-O on Thundercats. Yes, she is best well known for, well, the voice of Lion-O from. I didn't know that. It was very bizarre to me. But most people will actually know her from Reno 911, which is she plays Deputy Trudy Weigel, I believe is how you say her name. I did not know she voiced Lion-O in Thundercats, so I had to look that up because it was one of her top credits, and I was like, how is she best well known for doing that voice? But she was in Reno 911 for like the entirety of the show, the movie, and then I believe she was in the revamped show that was short-lived on one of those shitty fucking streaming services that doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, so that was weird to me. It was like, who is she? And then, because you don't see her in the movie, you see her voice and she doesn't sound like her. And I was like, once I saw the name, or once I saw the credits, I was like, wait, I know who that is, but why is it listing Lion-O? And I looked it up, and she plays Lion-O in Thundercats. I thought it was real weird. Anyhow, yeah, she's from Reno 911, which I mean, I didn't know her name, obviously, so that's that. Yeah, I was just really thrown off for that. You have Kyle Kinane is in this as well, plays Kyle the Demon, which is great. Kyle Kinane, amongst many things, a stand-up comedian, a very funny one. But he's also the voice of Comedy Central, which is interesting, and not a lot of people know that. But yeah, he does the voice for all the commercials for Comedy Central and the cuts between stuff when you hear that voice. That's Kyle Kinane, the stand-up comedian, which I thought was hilarious that's who that is. I thought it was funny. Next up is David Kirschner, I believe is how you actually say his name. He's been in a bunch of different things. One of my favorite roles that he was ever in was in Talladega Nights is a really good one, but oh my god, what is it? It's Waiting, the movie about the waiters at the restaurant shenanigans, or well, I don't remember the name of the restaurant in that, but with Ryan Reynolds and all those dudes. What's his name? Justin Long is in that as well. Not Justin Long. Yeah, Justin Long? Justin Long's in that, right? Yeah, and then the kid from Bones was in it too. The psychiatrist that ends up... Anyways, it doesn't matter. So David Kirshner's in that too. He's been in a lot of different things. So, that's that. Seth Morris, again, this is a gentleman I had to look up because I didn't know who it was. And he's been in a lot of different things. But what threw me off is one of my favorite comedies, which I really need to talk about on the show, but I haven't yet, which is Miss March. And unfortunately, one of the creators of that particular movie has actually just passed away recently, and it's a goddamn shame that happened. But I believe it was Trevor Moore was the gentleman who passed away. I'll talk about him more, or him and that movie again sometime soonish, I think. Because it's a really funny movie. But anyways, Seth Morris has been in a lot of different things. I Love You Man, Step Brothers. I mean, all sorts of different things. Television-wise, he's fucking been in so many things. It's hard to even it's like, oh yeah, he's in this. But yeah, he's been in. I mean, so many different things. I can't even tell you like what he's been in to like recognize him. That's how much stuff he's been in. Next up is Kumail Nanjani, who, of course, to me, is, of course, from Silicon Valley. Fantastic show. He's fantastic in that. I actually enjoyed him on The Meltdown with Joan and Kumail. It's a stand-up comedy show I missed dearly on Comedy Central. It was a fantastic thing. He also did, he voiced a lot of different things back and forth. But yeah, he's fantastic. He's actually in the new Eternals movie, the new Marvel movie that's about to come out. Not this coming Friday, the Friday after. I believe it's the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th. Oh my God, 5th of November, 2021, if you're listening to this in the future. Yeah, he's been in a lot of things. He was in a movie with his wife a bunch of years ago, and it was called, hold on, I have it here, The Big Sick, 2017, 2 years after this movie came out, and it's about it. Well, I say his wife's not in it, right? It's about his wife and him. I don't think is she in it? I can't remember. No, right? I think she's in it, but she doesn't star in it. Zoe Kazan stars in the role, I guess you would say it would be Emily. And she's the fictional version of anyways, real good movie. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. That's Kumail Nanjani. He's done a lot of different things, but those are the things that I would recommend you watch from him. Next is Michael Pena. Michael Pena, of course, hugely popular. He's amazing in his role in the Ant-Man movies. Fantastic there. He's done a lot of voice work. He's done a lot of on-screen stuff as well. I'm not going to mention one movie he did that everyone's like, oh yeah, he's in that movie. I'm like, no, don't mention that. But he was in End of Watch, which is a fantastic movie. You haven't seen that movie. It's a real good movie. He was in Fury. Like I said, he was in the Ant-Man movies. He was in The Martian. Briefly, everyone's briefly in The Martian, or everybody in it except for Matt Damon was briefly in The Martian. Anyways, it's Michael Pena. He's pretty rad, and you should know who he is. Next up is Brian Posane. Brian Posane is a comedian. He is well known for being a voice on Mission Hill. He was the what was that show? Well, he was in Big Bang Theory a couple times. Oh my God! It's he was the male guy. Oh my God! I'm spacing on the news radio. Holy shit! No, not news radio. Was it news radio? No, he was. What the fuck show was that he was in? He was on news radio. I was looking at this list here. Oh God, he was on something quite a bit. Besides the Mr. Show with Bob and David, there was another one he was in quite a bit of. He's done a lot of voice work, I know that. Man, what was he in a fuck ton of? It was Sarah Silverman show. Man, I cannot remember what that was that I'm thinking of. He was in a bunch. But he's a stand-up comedian. He's done a lot of different things. So that's Brian Posehn. I met him once at Comic-Con. It was pretty cool. Greg Proops. Greg Proops is by far the most popular for being on the improvisational show. Whose Line Is Anyways? Both the UK and the US version. Both excellent, by the way. Actually, and he was on both. He's been on both with Drew Carey and... God, Aisha Tyler, is that who does that one? Yeah, I think so. But also he's been a ton of different things. He's done a lot of voice work on different things. But Greg Proops is amazing. Poops, I said Greg Proops. Greg Proops is amazing. Paul Scheer for me, again, he's been in a lot of different things. But my favorite of all time show that he was part of was The League. He was fantastic in that show. He got shit on all the time in the show, which is actually funny, but he's amazing in that show, and you should check it out if you haven't seen The League. I'm not even a football fan. That show is phenomenal. Forever Unclean. JB Smoove up next. JB Smoove, of course, has been in a lot of different things. Stand-up comedian. He was on Curb Your Enthusiasm quite a bit for the last 14 years on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I think so, yeah, something like that. he's been in a bunch of different stuff. Saturday Night Live for a couple seasons. Does a bunch of different commercials and stuff like that. It's JB Smoove. He's pretty awesome. Next up is Dana Snyder. Dana Snyder, not everyone knows the name of, but he is the voice of Master Shake on Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which is what I know him best for. Also, he plays Granny Kohler, or Coilier, I think is what it's called. Their name is, on Squidbillies. He's been in a bunch of different stuff. He was on Chowder, which is one of my favorite cartoons from Cartoon Network. He's been in a bunch of different stuff. He's written a bunch of different stuff. He's definitely, obviously, most known for Master Shake on Aqua Teen Hunger Force, for sure. Paul F. Tompkins, another stand-up comedian. He's been in a lot of things. Comedy Bang Bang was probably his most popular, which is a podcast that he was on. So many different things that he's done voices for. Can't even go. I mean, the list is pretty long for his voice acting stuff, and just being on different shows for like 1 or 2 episodes of different stuff too is pretty amazing. But anyways, that's that right there. We're talking about Paul F. Tompkins. Next up is actually, I think is that the end of my list? That is the end of the list. I know I've got to talk about any of this movie, but that's who's. Oh, and who created it? Tom Gaines. So this was created by 3 gentlemen, or directed by 2 gentlemen, written by 3 gentlemen. So directed by Tom, I think it's Giannis, and Ross Schumann. Tom Gaines has done a bunch of different things, including Saturday Night Live work, and just a ton of different things on there. Well, not a ton of things, a bunch of things on there. It was written by Gaines, as well as Hugh. I think it's Sterbakov. I don't know. I couldn't find him in anything listed, but he wrote it along with Zeb Wells. Zeb Wells, of many things, but one of my favorite things is the fact that he is a writer and director on the animated show Robot Chicken is really where, and Super Mansion, is really where this kind of like his love for stop motion, I'm guessing, came from. And of course he wrote this along with those 2 guys, and he's written a shit ton of comic books, which is pretty cool. And he's really good at a lot of things, and writing is definitely one of them. He's done, Robot Chicken wise, he's done a ton of episodes, sketches from Titan Maximum. He wrote 2 episodes on every Robot Chicken special they made, and of course the show Super Mansion, which is a really funny stop motion show as well. So yeah, that's who made it and who created voices for it. Real quick, what is this movie about? Well, it's basically about a bunch of bad words and sexual stuff. If you go by Page's review, it is what in the hell did I just watch? So, sterling review. It is not for everybody. This movie is very fucked up. Excuse me. It has very crude humor, a shit ton of bad language. I can't even stress that how much this. If you're offended by bad language, I don't know why you listen to this podcast, but this one's gonna push your buttons for if you are at all against bad language, because it's in this, and if it's not in this, the word doesn't exist in English. So there you go. But basically, it's about 3 friends, childhood friends, who have grown up, and they work at a dockside amusement park that essentially is about to shutter because it's run down and shitty, and they're all kind of worthless and things like that. And one of the characters, played by Nick Swartzen, Remy, his name is actually Remington. He stumbles upon a book of Satan, and it turns out that the book itself, and there's some things that happen basically lead to this, but basically the book has an image of the devil, and the devil's crying, and so he wants to use it as a way to drive business into the amusement park. And he makes a blood pact with one of his friends, Kurt, who he's angry at for letting the park kind of go down, even though it's definitely his fault too. And he makes a blood pact at him as a joke, and then a portal to hell opens up when the pact is broken, and him and Augie, voiced by T.J. Miller, go into hell to save Kurt, and that's when Hell and Back comes from. It is very funny, extremely crude. Again, if you're offended by bad language or sexual content or just crudeness in general, skip this one, because this one's definitely not for the faint of heart. The animation's pretty goddamn good for being a movie that's made for like $11. It's extremely funny. There's a lot of submissive humor in it, a lot of dark humor in it, just a lot of just gross shit in it too. But it's a funny satirish thing about hell and other things too. But it's definitely super hilarious. I cannot. I love this movie so much. Paige is very confused by it because it's a very bizarre movie. A lot of shit happens in it, and it's weirdly highbrow in a way, but also super lowbrow because of the shit they talk about in it, and both ends of the spectrum. It's got history stuff in it. It's got crude humor in it. It's got animated butt shakes in it. It's all sorts of fun stuff, and I highly recommend watching it. I own it on iTunes, so that's where we watched it. I don't know if it's available anywhere else because it is a tough one to sell by any stretch of the imagination. And the poster for it is fantastically crude as well. Yeah, so that's that. Everyone should have a fun time. But yeah, that's it for this week's episode. That's it for this month's theme. Tune in next month and next week. I want to talk about something else. I don't know what that is just yet. I'm thinking about doing animated television programs, but I'm not too sure yet. So tune in next week to find out what it is, everybody. But yeah, that's it for this week's episode. As usual, I've been your host, Cody. This has been The Awesome with Cody. And like I always say at the end of these, let's be awesome.